split second slow. Xiao 8 almost got them vision with that kinetic field, but wasn't quite in time. If that took 3 to 4 seconds longer, LGD may have just gone in with guns a-blazing.
Yeah, it was a clever Roshan too, because neither team's really been in a position to take Roshan all game long. Even then, Secret weren't in a position to take Roshan by like
They did it anyway.
Yeah, they did anyways. It was like a Cloud9 style Roche where they smoke in and try and use the fact that it's a surprise to not get detected. And LGD kind of figured out eventually, but by then it was too late. Similarly, LGD have not been in a position to go for Roshan, despite having 2 decent physical damage carries in Tiny and Gyrocopter. They just have, neither team can really put themselves in that position where they're in the pit and you've got a big initiating heroes in like the Darkseer, the Earthshaker who can just get the jump on you.
With the Aegis, let's see what Secret look to do here. Maybe just farming out the bottom lane. Arteezy swinging towards top. He has opted for a Sanjin Yasha after the BKB. Looks like he's just tanking up against the burst damage as much as possible.
They're grouping up as 5 at top Secret.
They are looking to fight here. The Butterfly's just been picked up by Sylar. He's been hexed instantly. There's the reveal. Quick relocate out by Momaya. He was ready for that. They will lose the Wisp, most likely, but well worth it to save the Gyrocopter.
Yeah. Spend your money. Oh, it's all on.
And I believe that was also the reveal of the Hex as well from S4.
Yeah, unless maybe they scattered it in Roshan or something, but
they're going to push on with no Wisp, no buyback for 40. LGD most likely just counter push here. Yep. They've already got bottom lane. No. Maybe it's Tiny barreling towards the tier 2.
They'll pressure mid, pressure bottom. This is not too bad of a position to be in for LGD. They'll have to give up their tier 2 top, but they can get some damage on bottom, get some damage on mid.
Unfortunately, it's a Tiny, so this doesn't take very long.
Yeah, they're actually pushing just as fast the bottom lane as the top lane's being pushed by Secret. So
let's see, is there a Dire Glyph available here? They do have one.
They want to save it for the high ground, I think, because there's a legitimate. Here comes Secret. They're going to force TPs back by poking at the tier 3 tower and maybe even look to commit to a high ground siege here.
How does Secret get in here? They do have the Blink Hex capabilities. They get some eyes on Arteezy, throwing out a homing missile. Ideally, they'd love to bait out that BKB, but Secret will just calmly focus the missile down. And now they've got the IO of MMY back. No relocate just yet, though. It should be cooling down in relatively short order. 1 second and counting. Now they go. On to Arteezy. Doesn't BKB. Very patient. I feel a lot of carry players in that position would just panic, insta BKB, and then any chance of pressure is over for over a minute.
And good play from LGD. You've got to just use that combo, get SF down to half HP, because that's how you're going to stall the push. He doesn't want to throw his Aegis away for nothing, so you have to just get whatever free damage you can on that Aegis pushing carry. And Secret decide, well, they're just going to keep doing that. We're going to back off, otherwise we're kind of wasting our time here. As much as they'd like to be able to get a tier 3 tower and racks with this Aegis, once LGD had 5 alive again, it just wasn't going to be possible.
It feels like Secret are about to hit a really good timing. Kuroki has the level 2 Death Ward. He's almost completed the Ags. Somehow Kuroki always finds this farm. I mean, you look at the hero that he's on, and it doesn't feel like a Witch Doctor should be able to farm the way some of Kuro's other signature heroes do, but somehow he always finds a way. And with that Ags, the level 2 Weave also in play, all the minus armor they have through the Death Ward, and Arteezy about to get his next big item up to 4.3k. That could be the opportunity to go for a high ground push. But now Xiao 8 caught out. This is big if they can find him. He glimmers and tries to run away. They have detection, and they will bring him down. Quick pick there for LGD. And it's going to be up to, for Secret, and it's going to be up to LGD to back off. Yao gets caught mid. Oh, this is the one they can't afford. Losing to support's one thing, but Yao's dead for 45, and Gods, he doesn't have a buyback. Good news is mid lane has been shoved deep towards the tower.
Yeah, I feel like both those pickoffs a bit sloppy from LGD. And the first one was just good Secret response. As soon as they see the dewarding happening, they take the jump. But Yao, he knew where they were. He knew they could just blink and get to him quickly, but didn't really respect the initiating power of Secret.
It's the Scythe of Ice. It's been the difference maker here. Top lane, Vac Wall thrown out
just TP
to discourage LGD, and that means they'll be lacking a hero for the base
Neither
defense.
hero has TP.
Creeps are coming in right now. They're going to raise up the top lane and focus on mid, it looks like. Sylar sprinting back. Fortunately, he's got the Butterfly. Activates it immediately, but he may not have evasion for this upcoming fight. We'll see if it cools down in time. Arteezy, there's the Thunder Strike onto him. Respawning in a moment is Yao, and they do get eyes on Sylar. The Hex again. They've trapped him outside the base. Puppy was expecting the walk back, and Sylar tries to run. He's even committed a BKB, but the Queen of Padon and right clicks from the Shadow Fiend of Arteezy, enough to bring him down. Again and again, Secret finding the picks, and all of it on the back of this Scythe of Vice from S4. What a difference this pickup has made.
That and the vision, too. Like, first they canceled the TP back at top, and he had to walk back to base. He walks past Ward, so
there's your
blink
fissure.
Hex and you're
They're going to go
for
now. Avatos on Arteezy, trying to stall this out, but he just stands and continues to deliver. Now a completed I have Scotty up, muscling his way in towards the LGD base, and they're able to force out a very crucial buyback. And again, the Hex catches out MMY. He's going to die on the backsides. They need something for this, but the Death Ward of Kuro's going. They've got no way to stun him. Finally, they'll disable it. LGD self-destructing, known for their composure in most games. Not having it here. Secret just finding opening after opening, chunking down Sylar next, driving him back into the base, and they won't let him escape. That's a dieback on the gyro. It's an ultra for Arteezy, and it might just be game right here, right now. Again, the Graves, the plays, Secret crushing through. They bring down Maybe as well, and they're going to heal up Arteezy. He's feeling confident, swags towards the well, and they get the GG. Secret, so many outplays in a series of 3 to 5 minutes, when before then it was back and forth, dead even. All of a sudden, the switch flips, and it's all Secret all the way.
Yeah, it was 28 minutes, 29 minutes of just dead even Dota, and from that Roshan sneak onwards, Secret just outplayed them, found pick after pick. First the Disruptor at the Ancients, then they found Yao in the mid lane, then they prevented the TP's top during the split push, and then suddenly everything just fell apart. Piece by piece, the dominoes just crumbled, and yeah, LGD, they played a hell of a game. Like, they can look back on this and be like, yeah, 28, 29 minutes, we played that flawlessly. That was where we wanted things to be with this draft, with our game plan, but
It really seems clear the discussion in the war room for LGD is going to be, the draft was fine, the early laning stage wasn't great, but it was fine, good enough. The mid-game execution was good. We just did not have it in those key fights. We just got outplayed.
They kind of just, yeah, a bit of a choke nerve, whatever it may be. That, like, 1 to 2 minutes just cost them, and it was still a good showing from LGD, but Secret just on another level as far as decision-making.
All right, well, with that, we'll hand it back to the 3 Merlinis and see what they have to say.
Well, I don't know how much you guys have to say. Oh, okay. So you're one of them. Well, then what am I? I'm just sitting here.
No, you're
the
just second one.
I'm the second.
Winter's the third.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. I keep getting confused. But, I mean, I think the commentators, I was just thinking, like, what did happen in that game? And to me, I fully agree with the commentators. It just seemed like LGD just slipped up at the very end there in the very last few minutes, so to speak. Ben, what do you think about that game?
I think it happened before the Roshan fight. It was that mid T2 fight where they thought they could actually kill Arteezy, and then they didn't have enough to stop the Death Ward. And then they lost like 3 heroes. Gyro just picked his BKB. And generally, once you pick up your BKB, you're like, okay, we want to fight. But they actually got wrecked there. And then the few seconds timing at that Roshan, if they were there 2 seconds before, it could have been a completely different outcome.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the early parts of the game as we continue talking. Winter, early on, I mean, as the commentators are saying, LGD, definitely nothing to feel too bad about in the early phase of the game, and they did seem to be able to, I mean, select their targets quite well.
Look at the minimap. They're like really far away. They're so good at buying time.
Yeah, buying time, and we're going to see a very big fissure here from Yao. He's going to come in from behind and drop a fissure, and they're going to clean the back line up.
Yeah, right there, just all turns back around.
And he's been playing so well in the early stages of the game. The Earthshaker keeping his team together, being at the right place at the right time. The Tiny didn't have a good start in the lane, and he relied on the Earthshaker to come into the middle lane, get some kills on the Shadowfiend, and get back on track. So I felt, early game-wise, Yao was the MVP for LGD.
Yeah.
It was interesting for me to see the super early laning stage Secret they made all the right calls with how they put their lanes and how they played in the first 5 minutes of the laning stage. It looked like it was going to be really, really good for them. And then LGD have 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20, where they play really, really solidly. They counter the movement. They plan well. They know what they want to accomplish. And I think they have in the back of their minds that should this go minute 45 or 50, we're pretty good because we've got Gyro and Tiny, and the enemy cores are Queen of Pain and Shadowfiend. And then you've got the Wild Card and the Witch Doctor Death Ward always. But generally, a lineup like theirs can counter it with a Fissure, Toss, Avalanche. They have a lot of ways to deal with it. But then the Roche is really the turning point of the game where Secret go for a pretty high-risk, high-reward play, and that it could have gone horribly wrong because Yao was standing next to the pit, and he was wondering, should I go, should I not?
Right.
And if he sees the replay, he's like, why didn't I go? But you don't know, right? Because
No, he was actually hesitating as well. The moment where he was near the pit, he was waiting for the sentry to come. Someone came over with a sentry towards the high ground area to make sure that Secret has no vision of him. That's why he was very hesitant on going in. And then after that, the kinetic field came, but it was just too late from LGD.
Yeah, so again, in hindsight, of course, you can regret it. But at the same time, in the heat of the moment, plenty of reasons why
he was just like worried that there was vision.
I didn't like the way they approached the fights, though, LGD, that is. I think with the Wisp relocate, you need to be able to threaten their back line, especially with the BKB. I think they can like go in behind with Gyrocopter as well as Wisp and pick off either Dazzle or Witchhacker or force a Grave out really early. And the way they went about it is just like Arteezy's like too big and bad in the front. Like once he gets off his Requiem, everyone's damage is like way too low. You can't actually kill him because of the Grave, and all the supports are very well fortified. And that's why they went for those pushes. They're like, okay, well, we know this is how LGD is going to react, and we can pick off their front line really easily, and they can't see our supports because we can hide in the fog. If they approach from behind, the supports have to reveal themselves, or the SF has to back off and make the supports reveal themselves, and the Secret just approached a team fight way too well.
All right, so let's take a quick look at the ending moments here of that game as we wrap up just our thoughts on Game 1. Going into it, we said possibly the best matchup of the group, maybe even of the whole group stage coming in the first week. After that Game 1, I mean, again, it's not that LGD's draft was bad or anything, but do you think Secret just a little bit too concrete to battle against?
They are just so good at high grounding. They're simply just flat out the best team at breaching high ground right now. It might be where they have the biggest advantage over their strongest opponents, and let's say it's LGD and EG right now. Secret are just better at ending the game. And it's the classic approach, Arteezy up front with the BKB, defensive supports in the back ready to protect him. And I think at this point he doesn't even have the Aegis, right? They're just not scared. Or did he have the Aegis?
I think he had the Aegis.
He still has the Aegis? No, he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
He used the Aegis already.
Right.
I think it expired before. When the clip started, I think he didn't have it.
Yeah.
But they still go high ground.
No, he actually had it when...
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had it, and this is like the second phase of that fight. It's a long fight.
Right, yeah,
with
it
like
did
multiple
extend quite
buybacks.
a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's just very stereotypical. It's very clear that Secret, when they draft, already prepare for how are we going to end the game. They're not drafting to just win the lanes or anything.